Food security is also on top of the agenda of the AU, as articulated in the AU Agenda 2063. I therefore believe that the group of African ambassadors, in taking a decision to support the two projects in Tsumkwe, the two projects both in Tsumkwe, it is in line with the aspiration of Africa Agenda 2063. This project, I'm informed, there is a garden project in Tsumkwe West, which they have allocated an amount of 61,000 plus. You have seen the check here. And then the Potter project at Tsumkwe East, that is allocated 85,000. I can say this is really in line with Africa developmental agenda. Allow me, therefore, Your Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commissioner, to thank you for having decided to support our developmental programs. The collaboration between the African Group of Ambassadors and the World Food Programme and the implementation of the Integrated Community-Based Food System Project is very much welcome and highly appreciated. Yes, it's true, as I explained here. And I just want to remind the Namibian people, Tsumkwe residents in particular, that you might be aware that every year, on the 25th May, it is a tradition for African heads of missions to organize a dinner in celebrating the Africa Day. This year, the African Group of Ambassadors have found it appropriate to celebrate the Africa Day with the people of Tsumkwe by making a donation mentioned above, which is on the amount over 146,000. I welcome your support as we are celebrating the Africa Day in this very special manner. We are celebrating it as a way of reaffirming our solidarity and Africa's tradition of sharing. In every African culture, sharing is very dominant. And that we are seeing today. The Minister of International Relations and Cooperation, as you know, is the link between Namibia and the international communities, both at the bilateral and multilateral level. Therefore, whatever we get from non-Namibians is based on how we pursue our foreign policy. I'm saying this because I would like Namibians to appreciate the work of the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation. One day I was listening to one of our local radio, and somebody called in asking, all ministries, they are having regional offices. They wanted the Minister of International Relations to have a regional office. I explained that is not possible. However, at the appropriate time, you will see the face of the Ministry of International Relations. So today, the people of Tsumkwe, you are now seeing the face of the Minister of International Relations and Cooperation. It's here with you. And I remember the other time, we went with African ambassadors to Rundu when they were making a contribution to the construction or renovation of the Hamdi Theater. I think it's one of the projects that the ambassador has mentioned. Therefore, comrade governors, honorable governor, councillors, what we are asking you to do is to keep an eye to make sure that these projects are implemented to the latter. Because time will come when the ambassadors, high commissioners, will again come to the Ministry of International Relations and Cooperation and say, we want to go back to Tsumkwe to see how the project is running. Your offices will be my door, through which I'll come and bring the ambassadors. And I want to tell you, with the success of this project, the number of the ambassadors is going to be higher, because I believe by then we have overcome the COVID pandemic, which has now become a challenge to bring many ambassadors and high commissioners together. So therefore, we must be prepared for that. Your Excellencies, we all know that COVID-19 pandemic and subsequent closure of borders has taught us a number of lessons on the importance of self-sufficiency, most specifically in the context of food security. It has highlighted the need to strengthen our efforts towards the attainment of sustainable development goals, and also in line with our own Agenda 2063. The integrated community-based food system project, which we are handing over today, will go a long way in realizing the second Sustainable Development Goals on attaining zero hunger. We know that the vegetables grown from this project will provide a diverse food basket, which will address nutritional requirements of the clinic, school, and the local community. And of course, the surplus vegetables will also stimulate the local economy, which will in turn address poverty, food, and nutrition insecurity. Unlike others who spoke, I'm not inviting anybody to come out and set up a business here. I would want a local person to emerge and put up a food market here, so that the residents of Tsumkwe, you buy from that food market. But I'm inviting the big markets all over the country and beyond to come and buy and pick up their products, so that by buying from here, they are injecting into the rural economy. In that way, it is going to grow. So I mentioned earlier, we must not be in our community with a poverty mentality. And I can say this to the whole of the African continent. We should not be in the African continent with a poverty mentality. That the poverty mentality is pulling Africa down. When we are interacting with others, it's like we need them more than they need us, which is not true. They need us more than we need them, because it's our own resources that is developing those countries. So we should not, as people in Tsumkwe, to feel marginalized and think that others in the other parts of the country are more important than you. They are more privileged. You are just equal privileged. The Namibian Constitution does not discriminate anybody. Does not discriminate anybody. And the fertile land that you have in Tsumkwe that has put you in a privileged position and make use of that resources. Just in the same way, natural resources in Africa have put Africa in a privileged position, and we need to take that. We take all the decisions. African resources should not leave the continent at least without 20% unprocessed. I don't know how many we are sending out to now. So please, Tsumkwe, don't expect the people to come out and develop Tsumkwe. I mentioned already that your population is less than 10,000. A big business will say there are no people there. But once you produce and you become a food basket, then you make business. I'm happy our chief said it earlier, that that is the way to go. So, Your Excellencies, we really appreciate your support. The African unit that you have demonstrated, 13 missions comes together and put up such a wonderful program is something to emulate. If nations, different countries can come together, what about tribes living in Namibia? Tribe is just a name. But nation is the most important thing. We should not allow our tribes to divide us, just as we should not allow our countries in Africa to divide us. Our tribe must be a source of inspiration. Our nations must be a source of inspiration. Our diverse culture should be like a river flowing, and in the way is picking up all the nutritions, and where it ends is more fertile. So our cultural diversity, once they put together as a nation, then we become more fertile. So that's why this year the African theme is on art and culture. So therefore, we must forget our tribes, we must forget our language when it comes to the development. We must respect them, but they should not be used to destroy us and to divide us.